Hello Cancer and welcome to my channel Inspiring Life Changes. My name's Colette and I'm here today to do a reading for all Cancers that are Sun, Moon, Venus and Rising. If you don't know where those placements are, Cancer, you could go and check out, because there will be a link down in the description below for a free natal chart for you to go and have a look and see where your moon, your Venus and your rising sign are if you are not already aware of those placements. And also for you cross watchers as well who are interested in a Cancer, have had a relationship with a Cancer or are still in a relationship with a Cancer. You may also want to check out your own natal chart as well. And if you know their signs or if you know their birth date and time of birth, and you can also perhaps go and check out and see whether or not you feel that it's a good fit, or basically astrology is a really good way of getting to understand the underlying kind of issues that can happen within a relationship. So just to let you know that there is a link down below. For anybody who's been on my channel before, you will know that I say this every time. For those of you that are new to my channel, hello and thank you for coming over to check out my messages. Could you like my video up, please? Because I'm trying to grow my channel and it helps to get the messages out there into a bigger, broader audience, and more people can then come back and also check out the videos that I've done previous to this one. Talking of which, I have recently done the new moon in Taurus video as well, which you may want to go and check out. There is the astrology part and also the tarot reading part. I've decided to do them separately because it was taking up too much time and I couldn't put enough attention on just one or the other. So I'm doing them as two separate. They will be done for both the full and the new moon, or any other major astrological transits that happen as well, movements of planets that are major and of significance. I will also be doing readings for them as well. So also tap that bell if you want to receive any of my future videos, because it's the only way you'll get to kind of know is if you subscribe and tap the bell. And I think that's just about everything covered on that score. So I'm going to start your reading, Cancer, today with one card, one major Arcana card from the deck of the Gilded Tarot. All the cards are also in the description box down below as well. I've written out a list of all the different cards that I use, so you could also go and check that out and find out for yourself if you're interested. This major card here is the Strength card, Cancer. And what I saw immediately with this card when I saw it was the difference between these two energies. The kind of much more softer and feminine energy here, and the masculine, more kind of, I hesitate to say aggressive, but the lion's strength can also be seen as being kind of a very aggressive energy. But if you look here, she has him chained. And the reason that she's done that is because she has tamed this beast, which is symbolic of our own inner nature, our temper, the way that we deal with our issues and our problems, the anger that can erupt when things aren't necessarily working out for us the way that we want them to. And so this is also saying to me that, because this card is kind of the overall energy for the reading, which is why I choose one major Arcana card as an overall picture of what's happening within the reading and in your lives, Cancer. What I'm also picking up here is that there may need to be a more kind of softer approach, or a balance of the two as well. I see this as the feminine and the masculine energy here, which maybe need to be kind of balanced out, so that you're not kind of coming from just this energy and being too much of a kind of walkover Cancer and just giving in to things when you don't actually want to give into it. So also learning to use this energy productively and constructively, and knowing when to kind of stand up for yourself and say, no, enough now. So there is, I feel, a kind of need here for these two energies of the masculine and the feminine, which is how I'm seeing them, the kind of more receptive and more kind of right. It can also be seen as the mother energy and the father energy here as well. I'm also kind of seeing that energy in this card too as I'm looking at it. It's coming through also as kind of mothering and the fathering energy, and it could be that some of you Cancerians are having to do this for yourselves as well. You're having to be your own mother and your own father at this time, as well as also maybe being both parents to some. For some of you Cancerians out there, you may be single parents and you may be having to do the masculine and the feminine thing and try to balance that out as well, which can be very hard, very difficult. But it came out, I'm going to pull this card out now. I'm not going to read it, but I am going to show you it because it came out with this, and I thought that was really interesting because these are the Boji stones and they talk about balance. So this is why I'm seeing that here as well. I kind of saw that before I pulled this card. But again, the masculine, this is the masculine, this is the feminine. They come out as masculine and feminine stones. And when I read you what it's about at the end of this reading, you will understand that these are actual masculine and feminine stones. That's how they actually come through in the crystal kingdom. So I'm also seeing that really strongly here. So there's something to do with the balancing of these energies, Cancer, of the masculine and the feminine, but also the balancing of the kind of softer energy and the kind of more action orientated energy, shall we say, for want of a better way of putting it. So that's the overall feeling that I'm getting with these two cards today. In particular, the strength card is learning to kind of tame that strength within you and use it in a productive way. And we'll see if it comes out any further along in your reading as well, Cancer. But we're starting this reading at the heart of the reading with the Nine of Pentacles today. Nine of Earth, which is a card of self-confidence. It's a card of self-esteem. It's a card of self-worth. And it's kind of asking you to see whether or not you have that self-worth, I feel today, Cancer. It's come up outright. It's come out upright, so that's a positive. But it's come out. I feel that somehow this is you. This person here, Cancer, represents you. And this kind of fog and mistiness in the back, these are all your kind of previous achievements. But I feel as though you've got this sense of they're not really as important as you've always thought they were. And that somehow they're kind of fading into the background, into the past. And you're kind of leaving it behind and kind of walking forward. And your attention is very much focused on this little flower down here as well. And we'll see why that is as well. Go through the reading and see what's coming out. I'm not getting much from that at the moment, but I do feel as though you're kind of focused on something. You're single-mindedly focused on something in the future rather than all of this in the past. You're kind of realizing that you that you can leave all this behind. You can leave all of this kind of, I don't know, for me it's just coming through today as this kind of, you know, they were all achievements. They were all things that meant something to you, and they have kind of got you to where you are today. But now you're kind of, sorry, smoke from my joss stick kind of coming into the picture there. Now you're kind of feeling that you need to leave that behind. I just get the sense of leaving that behind. And it's covered with the call as well. So this could have something to do with it. This is Judgment card here. The Judgment card is, for me, all about a higher calling, all about suddenly kind of a realization, like something that you kind of have and I feel as well that this is why this kind of, for me, represents this here as well. There's real similarity with this archway here and this kind of like this being the window of your past, if you like, and you kind of standing in front of it, but you're moving away from it. Almost looks like a stained glass window today, somehow. Cancer. I'm feeling this, that something higher is calling you. This is what I think this flower here is. It's like it's your focus of attention. Something is calling you. It's like you've realised, you've had a realisation that there is so much more that's important in life than all of this. And you're kind of, I feel, waking up to it. Waking up. Coming out of hiding, maybe, as well, because she's a cloaked figure here. But she is facing forward. So it's almost like you're kind of preparing yourself, I feel, somehow, to kind of come out and you have been, I feel, reevaluating things in this card. But this angel here, these giant wings and his huge trumpet there, it's like you cannot miss it. You cannot ignore it. You cannot kind of, it's very kind of, you know, it's that higher calling of something that's alerting you to something new that's coming in. Yeah, and it's, I almost feel as though it's kind of, you get, well, this could have been for a while as well, Cancer, that this could have been going on, because it's a major arcana card. It kind of has kind of woken something within you, and then you've kind of let it go and you kind of drifted back, and then you hear it again, or you feel it, you sense it, you know it. It's kind of this calling, this kind of, and for me it kind of relates to the higher consciousness energy of the universe, of almost feeling as though that something is, something has to change, something has to happen, something, there's something that you are kind of becoming more aware of, that you have, that you can't ignore it any longer. Cancer, that's what I'm feeling today. You can't ignore it any longer, and it just seems to be getting louder for you. And what's in your head and what you are aware of at this moment in time, you have the Queen of Wands, Queen of Fire. It's in reverse. So the Queen of Fire energy is a very passionate, driven energy. She's very magnetic, very charismatic, very kind of like, she'll walk into a room and everybody will kind of notice, the atmosphere will change. She has that kind of presence about her. That is the energy. It doesn't have to be female. This is just the feminine energy. It can be both masculine or feminine. But this is what the card is talking about, the energy itself. Very charismatic, very magnetic. It's like I was saying, it's the energy where, you know, somebody will just change the atmosphere by just walking into a room. Fire energy, Leo, Sagittarius and Aries energy. It's very much like, I'm here, notice me. But that doesn't mean that this person is like that themselves. It's not like they kind of parade themselves, but they have that energy about them. It's just something that they carry with them. And I feel somehow for Cancer, for you, it's kind of, you're attracted to it. You're very attracted to that energy. And you yourself would like to be more like that as well. Because it's in reverse, I feel as though there's been a situation here where this person has been in your life, male or female, and you have had that very strong attraction with this person. And they did kind of light up your heart, because that's what she's holding here, this candle. It's very close to her heart. And so I feel on some level that they did also light up your heart, and you also lit up their heart too, Cancer. But at the moment, you're not feeling particularly open to this person. You're not feeling particularly like you want to trust them with your heart, Cancer. You're still drawn to them. And in many ways that bugs you as well. I kind of feel that you find that a little bit annoying. Also maybe because you're not sure where you stand with this energy anymore. You're no longer certain what this person is thinking or feeling about you either, Cancer. And in the past, what's moving away is the Page of Fire. So there's both the Queen and the Page of Fire here. So I feel as though this has been a kind of quite fiery, passionate, driven, very for you, Cancer, I feel as though it was a situation where you couldn't pin this person down. You couldn't get them to maybe even at times acknowledge you. If you see here, she's got this kind of, she has this fan, and at times this person just seemed to completely disappear, I feel, because it's in reverse. And the Page of Fire energy can also be about kind of somebody who because they also have this energy as well, they can be very kind of, I feel, flirtatious. Again, it's charismatic. It's kind of like, you know, alluring. And I feel on some level, Cancer, that you felt left out of this picture. That you didn't feel as though you belonged in this person's world. And that they had their own story and their own way of dealing with life, which you weren't necessarily, you didn't necessarily feel you were a part of that. And that made it hard to communicate and to have... I still feel there was a lot of passion there, a lot of attraction. But that didn't necessarily make it any easier on the relationship, shall we say. And so the energy underneath, the cards that we have underneath this reading today in your subconscious, Cancer, is Justice in reverse and the Messenger of Water, Messenger or Knight of Cups. So I feel as though you feel as though what happened wasn't fair. What happened wasn't very balanced. There wasn't a balance here. There wasn't much harmony. There wasn't a real kind of sense of fairness and a sense of injustice. You're coming from a place where you feel as though it was all very unjust or unjust. You kind of put a lot into this, Cancer. But the scales just kept tipping in the wrong way for you. And with the Messenger of Cups here as well, or the Knight of Cups, I feel as though you offered this person your heart here with this Queen of Fire energy as well. You offered your heart, and they're almost like they took it, but they didn't take care of it. And so I feel as though you, Cancer, felt as though you needed to bow out. This is kind of your energy, this Cancer, watery, intuitive, knowing deeply on a feeling level, the energy of Cancer, Pisces and Scorpio. All that kind of really deeper subconscious knowing something. Maybe not being able to kind of communicate it, maybe not being able to really put your finger on what it is, but you know it. It's like there's this deeper feeling that something isn't right. Something wasn't right. And you kind of bowed out, I feel, somehow. And I think that's what this is saying as well, is that, you know, something wasn't right. There wasn't the balance, there wasn't the harmony, there wasn't the sense of happiness here as well. Somehow it all went upside down. Everything turned upside down. Your world turned upside down, Cancer. Well, this was you kind of bowing out. This was you kind of, in some ways, closing your eyes to it. And I also feel that in some ways you didn't kind of confront it. With this Strength card as well, you didn't confront it. You just, I just feel on some level, literally, like here, you can see that she's just kind of closing her eyes. And that's how I feel that you coped with it. That's what you did. You kind of turned a blind eye to it. But I don't think you stayed there, Cancer. And I think that's what this is kind of saying as well, that you got out of that situation. But it's still in your energy. It's still bugging you. And what's moving in is the 10 of Wands, or 10 of Fire. So there's a lot of fire energy here. There's the Queen, there's the Page and the 10, all of fire, all of this kind of driving, passionate, fiery, all-consuming kind of energy. This is an all-consuming kind of energy, I feel, Cancer, here. And with this 10 of fire moving in, this energy moving in, I just feel as though you're going round and round and round in circles. It's like, here it comes again. But you're kind of seeking, I feel, these answers. But you just feel as though you're on this kind of merry-go-round. And you're wanting, I feel as though you're wanting answers here. You're wanting a deeper understanding. You're wanting to know why it is that you can't let this go for a start, because I feel that this is kind of you stuck in the middle and it just keeps whirling around and around. And this is the energy that's moving in. So you may, on some level, Cancer, feel as though you've kind of moved beyond it, which is possibly also what this energy is here is about as well. But I also feel that you, on some level, you need to reconcile this within yourself, and maybe even with the person that this is involving as well. If you haven't already, Cancer, there may come need here for you to do something about this, because you're not going to move on until the problem has been resolved. And I don't feel as though it has, because you kind of bowed out and turned a blind eye to it and said, you know, I can't cope with this. So I feel on some level it hasn't been resolved. There is no balance here. And you're kind of carrying this with you, Cancer. So I feel what I'm trying to say is that if you want to move on, first of all, you're going to have to try and resolve this situation. Because it is all consuming and it just keeps coming back, I feel. So I'm going to pull some more cards here, Cancer, and see why we have the Nine of Earth and the Judgment, or the Call card, for you. What is the message here for Cancer? Why is this still happening? Why is the Nine of Earth here? Well, we have the Page of Pentacles in reverse, and I feel as though it's because you still want to plant a future with this person. You still, it's in reverse, so there's still this, like I say, there's still, you can't let this go. You can't let it go. You saw this as being your future. You saw this as being something that you were going to be I feel that all of this is your past, the past relationship in many ways. And almost like this coin here that you're holding close to your chest is these coins here as well, but they're kind of fading into the background as insignificant now. Almost like because what you offered wasn't necessarily kind of reciprocated, or it wasn't a fair and just and balanced outcome. or relationship. But I do feel that there's something here. There's a energy, the page being a young energy that needs to be nurtured and looked after and taken care of. And maybe Cancer, this is where you yourself are at this time and needing to be taken care of. Like I was saying with this card here as well, the masculine and the feminine strength card here. Maybe you're needing to find that strength in order to be able to move forward. Because this is a card of kind of potential planting things for your future that's yet to be. And then she is kind of gazing into the future here as well, kind of looking ahead. I feel as though she's looking ahead at things and trying to work out what's the best thing to do here. But also about the balance of the masculine and the feminine energies here as well. Like I was saying earlier, not being too much one way or the other, not being scared of being one way or the other, or unwilling maybe even to kind of confront it. So, Page of Pentacles. You are thinking about the future, but you're not necessarily thinking about the future in a very productive way. I feel as though it's kind of blocked somehow with it being in reverse, that you kind of just are still trying to understand the past, I feel. And you can't bring the past into your future, Cancer. You can't do that. The past is gone. It's no longer relevant in many ways. And I feel as though that's what this Nine of Pentacles here is trying to say, is that, you know, your past, you have to let go of all of this. Focus on this here, which in some ways is also this coin here. What do you value? Why do you value it? It's about value. It's about where you're going to place what you value. Where you're going to place your value. And also with this higher calling as well, that something is kind of saying to you, that almost like I feel as though what you thought was of value doesn't necessarily have as much value as you believed it did. And it's like seeing the real value in something, calling you forward. So it could also be a sense of leaving the past behind, but at the same time trying to bring in a new energy for your future as well, with this cool card here. Kind of bring this energy into your future rather than keep bringing in your past or reflecting on your past. But we have in your head, Cancer, at this moment in time, with the Queen of Fire here, we have this struggle that is going on. The struggle of the Seven of Wands is with your environment and the people around you. You may not be seeing eye to eye at this moment in time. You may be again being asked to stand up, which I feel this Strength card here is saying that you may well be having to stand up and confront things that you haven't wanted to confront before. Maybe this person, maybe the energy of this person, maybe this part of yourself as well Cancer. Like I was saying earlier, that this is an energy that you're attracted to, but you're attracted to it for a reason. You want to have that energy in your life. And maybe it's saying that you need to bring that energy out within yourself. Maybe also you see that energy as being something that's very argumentative and causes a lot of problems and causes a lot of aggravation and very fiery, again, a very fiery kind of way of being, and that it causes lots of arguments. And maybe you see this person as being somebody who stands up for themselves a lot more than you're willing to stand up for yourself, Cancer. Particularly in this situation, I feel, again, because of your kind of closing your eyes and walking away from it. Whereas this person, I feel, is much more likely to confront it, kind of face on. But that doesn't necessarily always mean that it's the right way to do it. And so I feel, again, there needs to be a balance here between these energies. You have the Knight of Pentacles that's come out in this as well. The energy of stability, of practicality. The Knight is somebody who's very kind of slow moving. They're steady, they're steadfast. They're very reliable. They're energy of the Earth, Pentacles. They're very grounded in themselves, particularly when the card's upright. And it's the energy with the Knights. It's the energy, or with Pentacles, it's the energy of Taurus, Virgo and Capricorn, which is slow, steady moving energy. An energy of what it sets out to do, it will accomplish, it will achieve it. It may take a long time for it to happen, but it will happen, because this energy, once it sets its mind on something, it will just keep focused on it. Go with this card here, focused on it. There is something here that you are focused on, Cancer. You have focused your mind and your attention on something. And you are kind of working your way towards it slowly. And again, he carries this coin here because it's a value to him. He values it. He doesn't want to lose it. He doesn't want to let it go. And that, I feel, is also this coin here that you're kind of trying to take into your future. But not trying to bring the past with it as well. I think it's kind of a dilemma here for you in some ways, Cancer. How do you kind of manage to balance that all out as well? Tricky energy. Wanting to move forward, wanting to stay in the same place in some ways with the Knight of Pentacles, or stay kind of wanting to stay in the same place, and yet at the same time also bringing your value. Something about this, I feel as though it's something to do with this coin here, where you need to realize from the past, from the situation of the past, there has been things that are of value, lessons that you've learnt, I feel, also, that this is to do with lessons learnt. And here as well, lessons learnt. What have you learnt? What are you going to take with you into the future, because you've learnt a lesson from it, and it's been hard, but at the same time it's valuable. What you've learnt is valuable. So that's what you need to bring with you into your future, Cancer, and let go of all the rest of the dross, which is what I feel this is here. It's kind of dross. It's kind of you know, unneeded baggage. Let it go. You don't need all this baggage. You just need to know what you value and move forward with it here. And this is what's in your head, and it's what you're kind of working through, I feel, as well. And we have this Two of Wands come out here. You've got a lot of fire energy, Cancer. You're kind of feeling quite fired up, I feel. Something has got you quite kind of motivated, because in this card here it is about kind of a feeling of motivation, of you coming out of this hermit-like time, of you kind of being in your shell, shall we say. You've been hiding away. You've been in your shell. But now something has got you fired up. New idea, new way of being, new creative plan, which could also have something to do with this energy here, your future, your planning. Two of Wands energy, it comes after the Ace. So the Ace comes in, the energy of the Ace, and then you get this kind of, where's that energy going? So this is early stages of something. This is the early kind of stirrings of something. But it's got you motivated. You're taking action. But again, this is in the past. This is what's moving away. This energy is moving away from you. But again, see with this, if you look in the cave here, you've got Chiron, the wounded healer. So you have been going through a healing process, but you've also been learning a lot as well. And again, I feel value. Whatever it was that you went through, there's been a huge learning curve, a lot of value in it, even though it may not have seemed that way at the time, Cancer. Now you're kind of coming out of it, and you're beginning to see where the value lies and what you can do now as you move forward. So let's see why we have the Justice card and the Messenger of Air down here. Sorry. I said this was cups. It's not actually. This is air. This is the Messenger of Air. But I still feel the same. I still feel as though you turned a blind eye to it. This is the card of Gemini's Libra, which is also here as well, and Aquarius energy, the air energy. So I will apologise for that. I just automatically saw it as a cup energy for some reason. I think it's probably the colour. I got confused. Like I say, in turning a blind eye and not confronting, not wanting to confront this. And again, with the Libra energy here, I do feel as though that was your way of coping and dealing with it, the injustice and the unfairness. And I've just noticed that, so I will apologise. But I do feel as though the kind of the what I said, shall we say, was how it is. And we also have the Two of Cups down here as well. It's come out up the right way, which is good. But it's kind of saying in the subconscious realm, this is what's kind of brought everything else on, was this initial attraction. This initial kind of meeting with these two. energies here, the masculine and the feminine. And I always find with this card here, because he is immortal, she is immortal, he is immortal, he is the son of Aphrodite. This is Eros, or Cupid, with his arrow here, and he stabs himself and falls in love with Psyche here. But the interesting thing about this is that he can see her, but she can't see him. And so I feel somehow, Cancer, that on some level, one of you, there was more, like I said, with this card here as well, I feel as though one of you had more invested in it, shall we say. One of you was more invested, one of you had stronger feelings, one of you maybe, I'm picking up a sense of somebody kind of a sense that somebody had watched somebody from a distance, from afar as well, for a while maybe, and that they knew how strong their feelings were for this person, and yet the other person had no idea here. And so there was this sense of imbalance again as well. A lot of emotion here as well for somebody. A lot of emotion was involved in this. And again, that attraction, you know, he stabs himself with his own arrow. Cupid's arrows that once they hit, that's it. That kind of crazy love thing takes place. So I feel that somehow that was very overwhelming as well for somebody. For one of you, there was an overwhelming energy here, Cancer. Also, because I'm just seeing this here as well, is that he has his cup in his hand. So he has this cup, whereas her cup is in front of her and she's bound. She can't even pick her cup up. So I feel on some level it came out of nowhere. It was a kind of real overwhelming. And one of the two of you, I feel was way ahead of the other one, if you know what I mean by that. It's like one of you had much stronger feelings right from the get-go. And almost like this person here didn't have the time somehow to catch up, if you know what I mean. It was like they... Yeah, because this cup's down here and this cup's in his hand. So there's just this imbalance again, this sense of imbalance. And he does rescue her. But she still can't see who he is. And that's symbolic as well as in the sense of not necessarily showing all sides of yourself as well. Maybe Cancer, maybe there was some things that weren't completely open. You might have thought so, but it's a possibility that things weren't as open as you believed they were, either with yourself or this other person as well, Cancer. So moving in with this energy here of the Ten of Fire, the kind of all-consuming, keep going round and round in those circles, we have the Queen of Pentacles in the upright, again to do with value, again to do with your sense of what is it you put your value into, whether that's your financial value, your physical value, your spiritual, mental. We have, at this moment in time, we have Venus in Gemini going backwards and forwards for the next 4 months, or forwards, backwards and forwards again for the next 4 months. Venus being the ruler of this energy here, of the Earth, Taurus energy. We call it Taurus because it's got the bull here on her throne. And so this very much represents the Earth grounded energy. And this is what's moving in. So it may be that you are dealing with an Earth energy as well, Cancer. This person is somebody who you see as being very giving, very nurturing, very caring. They're a real kind of family energy about them as well. Homeliness, there's a homeliness, a kind of, again, a steadfastness, very similar to this energy here with the Knight of Pentacles. It's something about them that you feel you can rely on. You feel very strongly that they're what's the word I'm looking for here? They're very productive. They're very there's something very productive about them. There's something very like they're if you look at the card itself, it's very fertile, it's very abundant. There's an abundance about this person for you. They feed you on all levels, Cancer, this energy. You're drawn to it. There's something very kind of motherly in a way, which also may be why you're drawn to it, because Cancers do connect very strongly with the mother and the home. That is their energy, is the mother and the home energy. So this could also be why you're so strongly drawn to this type of energy. Again, it doesn't have to be a female, it can be masculine just as well as it can be feminine. It's not the gender that we're talking about here, it is more the energy. And men can be just as motherly and just as abundant in their giving and their energy, and when they're allowed to be. So there is a very strong pull to this energy here. And it's also come out here with 3 of Wands, which is kind of the follow-on from this 2 that you had earlier as well. So here, there is a risk that needs to be taken. If you look here, he's kind of being offered this crown. And the crown kind of talks of this higher energy to me as well. He's kind of calling here. I feel as though, like, you know, with this Judgment card. Kind of energy that coming from a higher place. And it's almost, I feel as though you kind of feel as though you have to somehow do this. That there's a kind of, I wouldn't say fated, although it could be, because this could also be talking about a fated relationship as well. Something that you can't ignore, even though you may try. Cancer, it's kind of keep knocking at your door somehow, I feel. Knocking at your heart. So So there is, you know, there's a risk involved here. You know, it's like but you're beginning to realise that there's a risk in life in everything that you do. Because you never know what's around that next corner. You never know what's coming next. Not completely. You may have some kind of idea of where it's leading, but you really, still at the end of the day, you don't know precisely what's going to happen when you turn the corner. And she's kind of representing like your life as well, like the river meandering along. And not knowing what's around that next bend until you get there. So you do know that there is a risk here, but at the same time you're kind of, with this page of swords, I feel as though you're kind of open to it, questioning. There's a playfulness here as well. There's a playful, impish kind of energy. It's kind of stirring that impish energy within you. And that need for answers as well, I feel. Which again is this here. This kind of, I feel like, you know, if you see here, each of these is a page that's on fire. And you're kind of looking at each one of them. As they go round, you're kind of catching it and looking at it and kind of letting it go and kind of grabbing another one kind of thing and kind of looking at the information, which I also feel is this here as well, the knowledge. You're seeking something deeper. And so you're going, I feel almost like this is going to be a bit like a quest. I don't know why I feel that, but it is, it's kind of, you're going, the way that you're going to approach this is going to be a bit like a quest. Like becoming more light-hearted, I feel here. More playful, more, it's going to bring out that side of you. This sense of fun, this sense of very childlike energy. Very childlike energy of kind of almost like if it's not fun, if it doesn't make you feel good, if it doesn't kind of elevate you somehow as well, like your energy, if it doesn't lift you, if it doesn't give you that kind of happy, euphoric kind of high, shall we say, then you're not going to deal with it. You're just not going to put up with it. You're not going to allow it to carry on growing out or blowing out of proportion. You're not going to allow it to become more than it should. You'll put a stop to it sooner rather than later, I feel, somehow. Or you'll walk away from it, or you'll there's just this sense that you are looking for something that's lighter and easier and more fun in life, Cancer. Somehow you've had enough of the heavy that you've been in and that you've been through. So let's see what the Moon Wisdom cards have to say for you, Cancer, before we finish your reading off quickly. Moon Wisdom energy for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Venus and Rising, please. What is the message here for Cancer? Sun, Moon, Venus and Rising, Cancer. What is the Moon Wisdom energy here? Moon doesn't want to give you any any messages, Cancer. Which is bizarre because it is your card. Here we go. Here's your sign, should I say, not your card. It's the fixed moon and it's saying hold your vision. Hold your vision. I feel as though that's kind of connected to this card here as well. It's kind of new, and also holding your vision here. This focus that I was talking about earlier. Holding your vision in place. Holding your vision. Fixed moon. So a fixed moon would be in the signs of Taurus, Scorpio, Leo and Aquarius. Those are the fixed signs for the moon. And it would be a fixed, when something's fixed in place, it's something that you don't want to change easily. Fixed energy is an energy of staying focused on something. You want it to stay the same. So, fixed moon. Hold your vision, Cancer. Whatever your vision may be, hold your vision. Focus your attention on it. And keep it, kind of keep it, I suppose, in your sight, which I feel is also this energy here as well somehow, like you're open for your sense of fun. I just get this sense of fun energy, this sense of kind of wanting to have more lightness in your life. But you need to keep your vision straight in order to be able to do that. And this is the card, sorry, I should show you it this way round, that got pulled for you, Cancer, today. It's the blessing of creativity. So maybe that's also why you need to hold your vision as well. There is a lot of creative fire energy in this reading as well. Fire relating to that creative energy of passion, bringing something into the mix of the energy. The energy's got a lot of drive, a lot of passion, a lot of action, a lot of, and I feel as though it's kind of like after this time of stagnation and this time of you being in this kind of cave, that you're now kind of pushing forward, shall we say, Cancer. So the blessing of creativity, this card has come out a few times in a few different readings. And it's talking about express yourself creatively and reconnect with your inner child. There we go. This is the inner child that I was talking about earlier. This is what I'm feeling, this inner child, this playfulness, this joy. As ideas and inspirations surface, express them without thought, censorship, or judgment. Don't try to make sense of things, just allow. Just feel, just be. This is a time when all is possible. You are limited only by what you think is impossible. Maybe that's also what this is saying as well. Hold that vision of what is possible, what you believe is possible. Hold that vision for your own possibilities. So we have the Boji stones for your crystal card, but I also want to just point out that you also have the number 8 twice here. And the 8, of course, is the number of fate as well, karmic number of fate. And also when you lay the number 8 on its side, you get what's known as the infinity symbol as well. So it's kind of that going back to, I feel this energy here as well. It's feeling as though, you know, it's going round and round. It's kind of like infinity, like cycle, like a cycle, a continuing cycle within this kind of relationship. But also maybe that it's kind of going up a level as well. So although it's kind of going round and round, it's also kind of spiraling upwards at the same time. So it's going from one level onto another level. So let's see what the Boji stones balance card has to say here. Where are we? I normally have looked this up already. So balance. It's the root chakra, and the colour of the stones is a golden brown. So it relates to the root chakra, the grounding chakra, the earth, creative earth energy. It says all matter is in a state of perpetual motion and evolution. When an earthquake, volcano or avalanche occurs, the earth's movement is obvious. Otherwise it appears to be static. In reality, it is constantly moving, shifting and breathing. The Earth's undulation provides us with a mode of transportation. Unusual as it may seem, the Earth propels us forward and we burrow through the Earth like a gopher or mole. Interesting. Our movement is very slow, imperceptible to the human eye. That sounds a bit like the Knight of Pentacles. Very slow energy here, Cancer. Very slow. As we move along, we form our bodies by magnetising particles to ourselves. We push up to the surface of the earth to complete our formation and fully express ourselves in the form you know as Boji. I don't know how many people have ever heard of Boji stones. They're quite rare. Gender identity is not usually a characteristic of the mineral kingdom. Most minerals combine both the female and male aspects into a single stone. Most Boji stones, however, evolve into a separate male or female self. Each has its own obvious physical attributes. The male has bumpy, geometric protrusions. So that's the male one there. The female has a smoother, flatter, flying saucer-shaped body. So yeah, you can see the difference with them. If you look carefully, you can see the kind of flying saucer kind of shape there. Our differentiation of gender is not for reproductive purposes. Boji stones do not mate and bear offspring. We evolve differently because of specific tasks that are more effectively accomplished through our separation. One is a unique method of balancing planetary energy fields by working in a grid-like pattern. Another is for balancing emotional states, particularly in the animal and human kingdoms. Occasionally we assist the plant kingdom as well if they have experienced extreme trauma, and of course that is also all about balance here as well. Cancer, the Justice card being in reverse, the imbalance. You and we assume female and male forms as part of a mission we are to fulfill. The ultimate goal of the great plan is a perfect blending of feminine and masculine energies in every individual. I was talking about earlier with this masculine and feminine energy balance here as well. The more often you experience and integrate the best aspects of the two genders within yourself, the more balanced you will be emotionally and spiritually. I feel that that card is very relevant to this, what this is saying, with the softer elements of the female and the more kind of driving elements of the male being brought together for you to be in a balanced state of being, Cancer. Our goal is to help you achieve balance. We work with the earth as it provides two invaluable services to maintain life. First, it absorbs and neutralizes discordant energies. Second, it replaces them with balanced energy. We usually work unnoticed in the wilderness. But in the last decade or so, humans have taken an interest in us and brought us into their homes and lives. I think they're Australian bogie stones, but I'm not 100% certain. How can we help you? The most effective way is for you to hold us or our card in your hands. If you have our stone bodies, hold the male bogie in the left, female bogie in the right. If you are left-handed, reverse. As you meditate or sit quietly, the two of us function independently, yet synergistically, to calm you. Our brown colour reflects the energy of the root chakra. The root chakra's mission and our own is to help provide a balance and stability via our connection to Mother Earth. So I don't know how easy bogie stones are to get hold of. You'll probably be able to get them online if anybody is interested in getting hold of some. We use a vertebral column as an anchoring rod that connects you directly with the grounding energies of the earth. This extension of yourself travels all the way to the earth's core. As you hold us, feel your body fill with space, spread out and flow into the earth which surrounds it. The emotions tensing your body and filling your mind are released into the layers of rock and soil around you. Stress, concern or sadness will leave your body through its outer layers. Once your body is free of these emotions, it can absorb the nutrients that the earth so freely offers for healing. And it goes into what you can do when you have the stones. And it says, why have you drawn our card today? Is a lack of balance interfering with your work or personal relationship? Balance is difficult in your hectic world. The demands on you are great and stress is ever present. Stress is a destructive vibration, creating anxiety, agitation and fear. Your physical vehicle cannot endure as much stress as is forced upon you. To avoid illness and injury, you must find your sense of balance. You are under siege from forces that intend to destroy the natural state of balance of the earth. These are powerful forces originating from outside the planet, although infiltrating it successfully through your media. This negative energy feeds on itself and multiplies. It is not our intention to alarm you with this information, but you should be aware that all entities in the universe do not work for truth and goodness. Some have become destroyers of the light. There is no reason to fear. Fear exasperates the problem. The forces of the light are strong, but we need your help. We urge you to lend your love and light to support this great work. The earth needs your balance to balance itself. Center yourself and become one with a divine flow. All nature is there to help you. Pan, the overseer of the nature kingdom, offers his cooperation in helping the human kingdom, and so do we. Blessings upon you. So Cancer, I don't know if the bogie stones energy will be of any help to you, but it does seem to be saying to me that there needs to be a balance within you at this moment of time, especially getting this card here. And that was one of the things that came through to me, was this balance of the masculine and the feminine energies, and the kind of not over going one way or the other as well. Like I was saying, this is also not balanced here as well. So I'm going to finish your reading there, Cancer, and say that I hope it has been of some help to you. If you have found it helpful and you think that anybody else might find it helpful, please could you share it as well, because that will help get my message out there. Also remember to thumbs it up, like it for me, because it does make a difference to the algorithms on YouTube and getting it out into the bigger world and kind of bigger audience as well. Tap the bell so that you will know when I'm putting out more videos, and also subscribe, because if you subscribe it grows my channel as well. So I'm just going to say thank you very much to anybody who has subscribed to my channel. I really do appreciate it. And for anybody who has come back to watch my videos, thank you very much for that too. And take care, Cancer. Hopefully I will see you again soon.